everyday thing. It's an everyday thing. It's an everyday thing when you let your nuts hang.
Okay, story time of how I lost my job in 4 days. So a few weeks ago, I had applied to work at this bakery, and I applied to 2 locations of the same bakery. One location was hiring and one was not. I let my application marinate for like a week and a half, and after that, I called back both locations. And obviously, the place I was hiring told me to come in for an interview, and the one that wasn't told me, that they didn't have any spots available. I did feel a little weird because this was my first time actually applying for a job, like sending in my resume and all that. Before, all the jobs that I had were through connections or through them reaching out to me to work there. So this is my first time like actually giving my resume and things like that and like applying. So when I did follow up, I felt a little weird that they were just like, yeah, come in, and like never reached out to me. It was like I had to follow up, but I was like, you know what, that's good though, because I followed up and then they told me to come in. So I didn't really put too much mind to it. I came in the next day after that, which was a Friday, and after my interview, he immediately told me to start working. I found that a little weird because I did prepare for that because something in my gut told me he's gonna tell me to start working right then and there. So I wore like the attire that I saw the other girls wearing when I came in person to get an application, and to my not so surprise, he did tell me to start working at that very moment. Another thing that was weird was that during the interview, he was on the phone with somebody else, and like he stood on the phone the entire time while doing my interview. And every time like he asked me questions for about like 10 minutes, I just kind of kept like gazing off and not really paying attention to the answers to the questions that he was giving me. And then just abruptly he said, okay, so start working, and he gave me an apron and a hat. I didn't put too much mind to it. I was kind of just excited because I'm like, oh yeah, okay, start on the spot. I'm prepared. Great. There were like 2 or 3 other girls there already working, and they were just training me that entire time. They told me to listen to them, to ask them what to do, and that's exactly what I did. I was just learning everything as fast as I could. At the end of my shift, which was at 4, I left, and he told me to come in on Sunday, which would be Friday, Saturday, so Sunday. I come in on Sunday, and he gives me this form to file, and he tells this boy to take my number down so they could put me in the schedule group chat. I never got put into the schedule group chat any day of the week until Thursday of the following week. That was 4 days later. So far since I got hired, he was conveying to me verbally what time I was going to come in, this and that. And I was like, oh, that makes sense. Like, cool. Before I would leave my shift, I would always ask him, when should I come in? What time should I come in? Because obviously I wasn't in the group chat yet, so I had to write these things down. I assumed that I was not going to be in the group chat yet until I gave in the form that he wanted me to file, because that way he could put me in the system. I don't know how those things work. I wasn't explained anything. After my shift on Sunday, he was like, oh, come in Monday at 10. I was super confused by that because I put on my availability that I was not available on Mondays. So I told him that. He was obviously fine with that and was like, oh, okay, don't come Monday, come on Thursday. When I come in on Thursday, he is not there. There's another manager there. And everybody's looking at me sideways like, why are you here right now? And one of my coworkers asked me, are you here early? And I told her, oh, no. The manager just tells me to come in at 10 every day until I get put on the schedule. The manager that was there then proceeded to tell me, you are on the schedule and you are on the group chat. Did nobody add you to the group chat? Did you not see your schedule? Keep in mind, on that Sunday, I gave my number to someone that he told me to give my number to that was supposed to add me to the group chat. But obviously, I'm oblivious to all of this. And I'm just like, oh, he's probably not going to add me to the group chat until I get that certain form filed. Apparently not. Apparently, I had been on the schedule. Apparently, I was on the schedule on Monday, which was confusing, but I had been on the schedule for 11:30 and I was on the schedule for Saturday and Sunday opening. That's fine, but like I was never put on the schedule. So I was like, okay, no, nobody was gonna tell me anything about that. Like I asked and nobody was telling me. But that ended up not even being an issue. The manager that was there said it's fine. You can take the shift as if you were doing opening to 4 and it's cool. But whenever you do an opening shift or you do like an extensive amount of hours, I'm not sure exactly how many hours that is, but I know for sure that if you do from opening to whatever time, you get to take a break. Since the manager there told me that I was doing that shift, I took that as like I can take my break at noon. So that's what I did. I took my break at noon because that's what I saw everybody else do. I asked, it was fine. And a girl proceeds to tell me, one of my coworkers, I don't know what position she was, but I was under the impression that she's a regular coworker. She tells me, you can't sit down to have lunch. And I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. And I start picking myself up. The manager at that same moment walks by. She's like, no, it's okay. You came in early, so take your lunch. I obviously said thank you and proceeded to eat my lunch. That same girl then proceeds to tell me 3 times, you can't have your lunch unless you come in opening shift. Just know that for next time. And I just said, oh, okay, like no problem. Each time that she told me that, I just said, oh, okay, no problem. Obviously, I'm thinking she's reiterating it to me because I'm new and I just need to remember that. That's fine. Where it became a problem was she told another one of my coworkers to come to me and tell me that I can't take a break unless I came in opening shift. I'm like, okay, like, I'm pretty sure I heard you the first 3 times. And why are you involving this girl? And the girl seems so awkward to tell me. I'm just like, I know she doesn't think that I didn't hear her because I'm obviously talking back to her and telling her like, oh yeah, I'll remember that for next time. Like, I wasn't even like in trouble or nothing. Like the manager at the moment literally told me that I can have lunch. So I'm just like, are you trying to be my boss or something? Like, are you my boss? Like, let me know because I literally do not know. Then we get to today, which is Saturday. I go in for opening shift. This is my first time doing opening. So I'm doing it with another girl. And about 2 hours later, another girl came in because I'm new and doing opening shifts. So they want to like balance that out in case I make any mistakes. Understandable. Me and the 2 other girls were doing opening. It's nice. It's cool. And then my manager, the one who hired me, came in. Me and the 2 other girls, we are not baristas. There's a barista section, and we can't do the barista stuff. We can only do certain type of coffees on our counter side. My manager starts teaching me how to make coffees on the barista side. So I'm like, okay, that's fine. Like, if he wants me to be a barista, cool. Like, let's be a barista. At the start of the opening shift, I had told my coworker, I was like, okay, teach me how to make the simple coffees that we make at the counter so that if somebody comes in to ask for it, I can make it. You can also order the simple coffees on the barista side. Basically, we make the simple coffees and the barista side makes simple coffees and the other coffees as well. As my manager is teaching me, he was like, oh, so we put this sugar, and he starts pointing at sugar. For that moment, I spoke over him and I said, oh, the simple syrup, because that's what I was just taught. So I was trying to show him that I knew. Right after that, he goes and says, who's talking, me or you? And I was like, oop, what? Like, let me shut up. So right after that, I was quiet. Like, I thought he was joking, but I saw his face that he was not. So I was like, let me just shut up and listen to what he's saying. But it was kind of weird because he kept reiterating, like, ask questions. But then when I did ask questions, it was a problem. But he's my boss, so I shut up. After that, the shift went smoothly. But there was a moment where I went downstairs to ask him a question about something I didn't know. And he told me, you don't have to come down here. You can just ask one of your coworkers. That's understandable, but a lot of the girls are busy at the same time. But it's understandable. Let me ask one of my coworkers instead. I ended up figuring things out and continued my shift. At around noon, I went to take my break. Literally right after my break, I see that girl from the other day who was telling me, like, you can't have break, talking to the manager. They talk for like 10 to 15 minutes and they just keep eyeing me down. I'm like, are they talking about me? Like, so the bakery is like aisle format. So I'm walking back and forth down the aisle to see if the customers are there while also kind of like getting a listen to what's going on because I'm wondering if this conversation is about me. Okay, I'm gonna try to wrap this story time up really quickly, but basically after I eavesdropped on the conversation, he did like this to me. He was like, come here. Obviously I go and he tells me, I'm gonna talk to you really seriously and you're gonna listen to me. If you think this is a place to play games or to do whatever you want, then you can pack your things and leave. He's like, when you come here, you listen to the girls, you ask the girls questions, and yeah, just things like that. Like you take orders and that's all. And I'm like, that's what I've been doing, so I'm kind of lost to where this conversation is coming from. But okay, keep in mind, the girl from the other day who was telling me that I can't be on break or whatever, the girl he was talking to was still standing there listening to this conversation. So I'm like, why is she here? Why couldn't this be talked about in an office, in a private space? Like, why are we out in the open where there's customers, where there's the entire staff, and on top of that, it is busy? Then he starts pulling out like a receipt of an order, and he shows it to me. And he's like, this is not your order. Did you not take this order? And I'm looking, I'm like, no, this is not even my handwriting. Somebody wrote over this. This is my order sheet, but somebody wrote over this. You can see this is a different pen. This is different writing. What? And he's like, okay, so just forget the order. It's fine. So I'm like, the one solid evidence of me doing something wrong isn't even mine. So you're blaming me for something I didn't do. He just keeps talking to me about like, oh, you have to listen, get along with the girls, this and that. I'm just like, this is my 4th day working here. Do you expect me to be best friends with these girls? I'm obviously cordial with them, but I'm not gonna be like all buddy. I'm just here to take orders from them and to smile and be nice, and that's it, and then finish my job. And then like the hypocrisy for him to say ask questions, and when I went downstairs to ask him a question to double check, he got upset and told me to ask the girls. I'm just like, everybody's busy. They're not always gonna be able to assist me with my questions. Honestly, if I was somebody who worked there already, I would be frustrated if somebody was always asking me questions all the time, even though that is their job to be training me. He spoke for about 10 minutes to me. The only time I talked was when I asked who put the complaint on me and that this is not my order. Those are the only 2 times I talked. Those entire 10 minutes of him calling me out, I suppose, he did not let me speak. After that, he walked away and started assisting a customer. And right then and there, I told one of my coworkers, I was like, hey, I'm gonna go use the bathroom. I called my mom and I was like, what do you think about this? And she's like, you're in your right to leave. If you want to quit, go ahead and quit. I don't see what's wrong with that. He disrespected you, and I think that he meant about that the wrong way. And I agreed. I was like super heated, but I went to him and I was like, hey, when you have a chance, when you're not busy, can we speak in your office? And he's like, speak about what? And I'm like, oh, I'm done. Like I quit. I'm gonna leave. And he's like, oh, okay, so there's nothing to talk about. You can just leave. And after that, nothing was said. So clearly my service was not necessary there. But I definitely think if you're gonna put you're hiring sign, be mindful about who you're hiring and look over the resumes. Like, be more mindful, because if you want somebody who's already skilled and knows these things, check the resumes before hiring them. You know what I'm saying? Because I have all my information on my resume. I have all my experience on my resume. And that's not to say that I was doing my job badly. Respectfully and humbly, I think that I was doing my job correctly and I was doing it to the best of my ability. But that's for each person to judge, and he's my boss, so. But honestly, I was okay with leaving, and yeah.
Yeah, I don't think this had anything to do with this woman and her capabilities of being a barista, because anybody can make a coffee. Like, if you learn to make a coffee, you learn to make a coffee. Coffee is not that hard. Like, it can't be that hard. I mean, you know, um, I don't know what type of high horse they were on, but they were really on some BS, because you don't do that on no jobs. Ain't nobody putting up with that shit. And honestly, ooh, man, you know what's crazy? This is what's funny. Like, one time when I was working at McDonald's and I was like 15 years old, and this lady, I think I told this story before. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. I don't remember. But this lady was like, and I came in there, she was always mean, but then I came in there and I was hungry, and they had some nuggets and I was eating nuggets, and I was, making people's food, and then I had some nuggets in my hand, and she grabbed me by my hand and was like, hey, come here, I caught you eating that, eating. And I'm like, but then, you know what? At the night, McDonald's throws away so much food. You know how much, and they write it down, right? How much they throw away. I get that. But they don't account for how much they lose during the day. Like if McDonald's made me go through and they have a waste basket. If McDonald's made me go through and count how much food they threw away in that waste basket, I would never work for McDonald's ever. Like, no, I'm not going through and counting how many nuggets and chicken patties and hamburger patties y'all throw in this nasty ass waste basket because y'all don't drop food on the floor or and y'all just throw it in that waste basket. No, I'm not doing that. You know, and then Popeye's chicken, all their food, all the food that they didn't all the food that they didn't sell the night before, all they do is take that meat and they save it for the next day, the chicken. They didn't throw away the chicken, they saved it for the next day and they had jambalaya. I don't know if Popeye still had jambalaya. I think they done with the jambalaya. But they'll take the chicken from the day before and they'll have somebody back there taking all the meat off the chicken and that person they'll take all the meat off the chicken and that person will be putting the meat in the jambalaya. So they're they have ways of repurposing. Actually, when another McDonald's I used to work at, matter of fact, it was the same one when I worked at the one on the east side. When I used to close, they be like, shit, whatever's left, burgers, all that, take that shit. Don't leave. They be like, take it. Like, we're gonna write it off, so take it. You know what I'm saying? Make them burgers and take it. I wouldn't take many fries. McDonald's fries ain't good when you take them home. But a couple apple pies always good. The burgers ain't good a couple days afterwards. No, the bread ain't good. So McDonald's was never good. Popeye's chicken was always good. You know, Popeye's chicken was always good because I worked at Popeye's when I was like 17. When I was like 17, and I worked at Popeye's chicken, and shit, man, bring home all that food, all of it. I used to have all them pies in my freezer. Ooh, I used to have, man. Used to have bags of chicken strips.
Everyday people.
Day and night. For some women, it can start working in as fast as 1 week.